Well, let's see if we can get a good comfy spot here. No, we don't need a green screen. How do we turn that back off? Oh. Now I've erased myself. Look at that. How do you turn that crap off? Oh. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Hi guys. Show you what I'm working on. I don't really expect to get anybody in here. It's 2:45 in the morning. I guess West Coast people, you might pop in. But see what I got going on. I have this old vintage Acer Acros with 486 CPU, and we did a little video on this last week just to see if we could get it to boot. We got it to boot. Now we're gonna make it run. Well, when I turned it off that time, the clock battery had failed. Now we're gonna have to manually program the cylinder count and the head sectors. We're gonna have to manually put that in, and it informed me that the clock battery had died. The clock battery solders right into there, and it died. So if you are a subscriber, you might have seen the video that I used where I fixed a Pokemon Game Boy cartridge using one of these 3-volt batteries. That's what came out, but the one that came out was a 1220, it looked like. And we're gonna use a 2025, and it's not gonna be quite right, but we're gonna make it work. So we're gonna solder some leads onto this thing, and we're gonna pop this battery in. And hey, how are you? I see you popped in. We're gonna see what we can make happen. Let's see now. This is the positive. What did they do? I guess we're gonna try to do this without shorting it out. Guys, there's 15 of you now. I'm soldering some leads onto this 3-volt battery in a second. I'm working on this vintage computer over here. The battery died, so I'm gonna solder these on real quick and try not to burn my hand. And because they don't make that battery anymore. So we're gonna give it a shot. Did that, don't we? Can never go wrong with this. You need as much of this as you can get. Add some flux, add some flux. This helps to bond your stuff. Take a little dab of that. I'm gonna melt it in. Just gonna tin it on here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, perfect. Let's see if you can get a better view of what I've got going on. Can you see the battery? There you go. Alright, so we're just gonna take it and try to tin this on here. Well, it kind of worked. It worked well enough we can get this on. Alright. Nope, I'm gonna need more. That's the scary thing, is it's a lithium battery, so I'm kind of, I'm trying not to overheat it. Alright, we got that side. Flip it. And that, oh my god. I got the red side on the wrong side. We gotta flip it anyways. Like amateur hour in here. Alright. The red has to go on the positive, or we're gonna have problems later on. Put Put some flux on here. So again, you see the number in the room changing. So let me tell you what I'm doing. There's a vintage computer right there. It's got an old 486 CPU, and I'm gonna try to install Windows 3.1 on there, but in order to do that, it needs to recognize the hard drive. And the hard drive had failed. I replaced it, but then the battery failed and it lost the settings. So that's what we're doing. So I hope that you can hear me pretty well, because the furnace was on and it's loud. So there we go. I'm going to show you now. Once I get this lead stuck. Okay. So there's the battery. This keeps the time on this old computer. So set this here and I'll show you. There's the old computer. Oh, there we go. It's an old Acer Acro. So I'm going to put this on my eBay account when I'm done. I'm going to be installing Windows 3.1 to this. I have an MS-DOS boot disk that we've already made, but I couldn't install it because it couldn't find the hard drive. So I took it apart to get to, you see these numbers here? On these older ones, these BIOS didn't know how to find it. You have to plug this in manually. When I went to do it, then it told me that the battery died. So now we're putting a new battery in, and it goes, you see those two holes right there? So we're gonna try to solder this in. We just got to get the camera lined up. There we go. You should have a pretty good view now. Let's see if I can do this without burning myself too badly, all right? I'm gonna tin this over off the side of the camera, and then we're gonna try to stick it in there. So give me just a second. Hopefully it'll work. Okay. I've kind of been doing this for a number of years, so hopefully this one works. It's ugly, but it'll do. It's stuck. All right. All right. We got to do one more. Nope. I don't like it. I'm going to tin this. Hang on. We'll get there. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try it one more time. Now, there's a little bit more solder on the end. It's so crazy that you guys will come in and watch these, but when I stream from OBS, when I'm playing video games, I get no traffic. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, this should work. Now that's connected in, but I need this to not short out, so give me a minute and I'm gonna find some way to protect that. I got somewhere to set my phone. There we go. Okay, I want to find some way to protect that. What do we have? The power supply has to go on top of that, so I need something to go under and then over all at the same time. Usually I would use something like shrink tube, but it's 3 in the morning and I'm not going to go looking for a shrink wrap gun. All right. Found some plastic, but I don't know how well this one's gonna work. Oh, here, you guys, this is perfect. This is actually just a plastic sleeve that came from a screen repair kit. This can go on top of here. And then we'll just set another piece on top. Look at that. Can't short out if it can't touch anything, right? Okay, so Quant, let me tell you what I got going on. This is an old desktop, very old, and I'm going to be installing Windows 3.1 on here. And if you look up there on the cupboard, there's a whole bunch of old games. So I'm going to be installing this and doing some gaming on here. But I could not get it to recognize this hard drive. And you have to go in on these older ones and manually put the cylinders and whatnot in. So I went to do that, and the clock battery died. So I took that yellow battery actually is what I use to repair like Game Boy cartridge games. Like if you ever had Pokemon and it stopped saving, that's what dies, and that's why it won't save. So now that we've gotten this far, we can take a recording of this. I was gonna try to screenshot that, but it just locked my screen, so I guess we won't do it that way. I need that set of numbers, so we're just gonna write those down, and then we'll put this thing together. We've got the old CRT. We'll set this all together, and we'll see if we can get it to recognize the hard drive now. And then we'll install Windows maybe. So we have 2100 cylinders. 10. You guys hear my furnace? 16. 63. Okay, we got that far. A nuke, huh? That would be something. Okay. Let me see if I can just set this down for a second. Get this assembled. Would hope if I turned it the right way. I'm not gonna go fancy. I'm not putting it all the way together. I'm just gonna put some power to it. Let's see what kind of errors we get. We can make it pretty later if I decide. I mean, this is definitely going to go on my eBay account. I saw somebody sell this same one loaded full of games. You can look it up, Acer Acros with a 486 CPU. They got $600 out of that thing. So I'm certainly going to put a couple hours into trying, right? Plug in this. Try not to melt this on here now. Ooh. It's time for my close-up, huh? Oh, plug the monitor in. I'm not even going to use the TV, you guys. I'm going to use the actual CRT. So, has that got power to it? Nope, that doesn't have power, so I got to get some power cords going. Okay. Well, we'll pull one off of here. Here's gonna be one. And here's the other one. So, just a second, we're gonna see if it turns on. That part should be ready to turn on. Here's the power cord for the base. Turn this on. Everybody got your fingers crossed? We are about to find out. She's clicking, she's clicking. There we go. Dying over here. Now, last time I had to do this 2 or 3 times to make this work. So, turn it off. Turn it on. I saw that part click. Let me show you. I had a blink on that. We got no post here. We're gonna do some troubleshooting. God. Always something. Let's check this. CPU fan's going, that's a plus. Okay. I think I know what the problem is. So hang on. I'm gonna go back over here for a second. Move this. Turn it off. Boy, I can't win with this camera today, can I? Wow. Yep, I did find the problem. Hang on. I know what happened. The IDE cables came disconnected from the main board. I will fix one. There's number 2, 3. We'll just set this back in for a minute. There's the main. Plug in the one to the CD drive. All right. 1, 2, everything should be plugged in. We'll try her again. I can hear this one powering up. Ugh. Shit did this to me last week, like 3 times. Then I got it on, then it didn't do anything. But it ran for a minute. Alright, well, we'll do this thing. We gotta mess with it till we get that floppy to go. So, turn it off. Old systems are weird and they don't always post. So we're gonna pull this memory module out and move it over one. It's not overheating, so we're good there. We're good here. Hit the switch. Still got nothing going over there, no post. Well, that's frustrating. Okay, well, we'll just unplug some more stuff, I suppose. Fine. It's fine by me. If I have to. I didn't want to, have to, but I will do it. That part works. Don't want that part to work. Okay, well, fine. We'll start removing stuff till we make our post. We'll add it back on. We'll figure out what's going bad. Hard drive is out. Floppy drive is out. I don't know why they wired the switch like that, but okay. Sometimes this is how it goes though, right? Basic troubleshooting until we get there. Hey, this is cool. I didn't see this. I'll show you something when I turn it off again. I'm gonna take the floppy one off. But you guys see this down here, this little flat one? You know what that's for? Let me show you. I can't believe I even have one of these to show you, but this goes for the floppy drive. That big square one's a different shape. Wildly enough, I have a 5 1/4 inch, and that guy. Do I have it upside down? I sure do. Boom, goes on there. So now I could actually run the old big floppy on here if I wanted to. I don't want to, but I could. So that's kind of cool. But what we got to do is figure out what's going on with this one. So disconnect absolutely everything until we get it to post. Try it again. Oops. There's nothing there now. Okay. Have a good night, you. Thank you. Thanks for viewing. I have to have patience with it because, you know, it's worth about $20 in electronic waste. But if I scrap this thing out, I lose the resale value. It's a collector item, and I had it working. And I have a feeling it's this daughter board that I pulled out, and I should have just left it alone. But I'm getting to that in a second, so we'll see. There can only be so many things that go wrong on here. So something's just not seated well. Now you can see I've got the whole thing out. I'm gonna take this, there we go. This little guy right here, this back plane. I'm gonna take that out because we don't have anything like plugged into the expansion board anyways. So we're just gonna keep removing stuff till we figure out what we did. Because I, again, was using this the other day. Move this memory module back. The damn things are just so finicky. I don't want to reseat that CPU. If I can avoid it. I don't know. Give it about 3 more minutes, and if I don't get it, I'm gonna have to do some research, I think. Just to record this fan because it's a We'll just go back to what we started with. We'll take this off here. We started with putting this clock thing on. But we're gonna go right all the way down to nothing until we get a picture on the screen. And we'll just go forward from there. We'll go like this. Power supply can sit right over here. Where did I put that floppy drive? Oh, I see. Just a zip tie, don't worry. That's the pin that's missing. Correct. Here we go. That one's on here. I'm just putting this on so I know if it's doing the boot up floppy seek or not. Okay. Now that we've got a whole OSHA violation here, run this cord back and see if we can get shocked. Something's going on because I got a green LED over there. Oh, I see why. I see why. Duh. Can't do that. You actually have to plug the board in. This is probably the last shit I should be doing at 3 in the morning. That's enough. Can't make it work. Not right now, not at 3 in the morning. I'm gonna do a little more work with it, guys. Figure it out. I'll come back on here and we'll get Windows going.